Bruh. So like I'm pretty much done with these videos. I'm done with my targeting. Your targeting, there is a electro low magnetic frequency which coincides with spirits, and they have an ELF reader, or electro low magnetic frequency reader, when they go ghost hunting, which could be a myriad of cryptid spirits in the fourth dimension, not necessarily ghost. Any type of reading that you would pick up on an ELF reader would be based upon some type of energy signature or electric signature, magnet signature, something of this nature. But that's what you're dealing with. Before this, we had the complications with America wanting to hastily raise the 5G grid, and trees were getting radiated around the area, and society was being silenced while people were growing wires beneath their flesh, complaining of some new disease called Morgellons that correlates with the technocratic or disease experienced in the Marvel timeline by Cable, where he had to use telepathy in order to fight this disease from eating his body with technology in the future. That's what. So we had the chemtrails to reflect the sun, and also them wanting to make the internet worldwide and raise the 5G grid. And originally the internet was created by Bill Gates. Now when you read it, it says that the internet was created by the beast. So it wouldn't be too far to correlate with Bill Gates' equation to depopulate the planet. With the fact, and him originally being the creator of the internet, which he has the key, or some type of key, he has the ability to cut the internet off. Bill Gates does. So he may have the key. He might be the angel or the human being that has the key to the bottomless pit. Who knows? My other speculation would be Barron, Donald Trump's son, because they're time travelers, and the Baron is known in German society as some type of position, and the moon exalts itself as the ego. You know what I'm saying? These are these draconian spirits and what have you. They're Earth roaming satellite, and I got to tell you, when people in this section, when they fall beneath a certain point of competency or knowledge, it gets very challenging, because you deal with people who have to relearn how to walk, talk, and do these types of things. And this is actually the technology. If you ever seen that movie called Transhumanism, that's a real thing. That's what they were doing with the chemtrails. So, with my mother, she experienced a stroke. And, like I said, when I was going to the gym, a lot of these people, this was some years ago that she had the stroke. And, she had to get readjusted to certain type of things. And I noticed certain type of things. There was brothers coming into the gym at the time I was coming into the gym. Sometimes they had a different look about their eyes. You know what I'm saying? These nanites, this smart dust that you would see in this video, this movie called Gamer, which we have a gamer society where kids stay in their basement and play games. This guy was able to control people with smart dust. And in society, if you look at what I released on BitChute called Now, where it talks about DARPA robotics and different robotic companies, where Gemma Hen, I think is her name, Gemma Hen, or maybe it's Henna, who started in humans as and her role was as an android, was doing a special on androids they're building that are lifelike and everything else of this nature. And it was showing how this android would have to learn how to walk. Well, just like in the film Eraser, where you could see through walls, your Wi-Fi technology allows drones and what have you to be able to see through walls. And a lot of people who have lost their vision, if you're going through this time and space, use their cell phones to actually view what they're looking at. Everything else is ran by senses, and the mother, which is the the base computational knowledge which is running society as in transhumanism right now. You know what I'm saying? So individuals, when I was talking about individuals had coordination issues and they would kind of wander, they get in my way, or they would act drunk. All this is in the Bible. We're talking about drunkenness in the day, this, that, and the other. And this system is ran by antimatter, this supercomputer smart system. This is theory, I speculate. But here's the thing, man. Just certain things. Like, I talked to someone earlier. They was like, yo, what's up? Do you want to get out? I was like, nah, I'm good. Then they was like, because I knew they wanted to probably stop by anyway. And so they were like, all right, bet. Maybe I'll stop. I'll stop by later. Now, individuals who do this always speak in a clause of might or maybe to tie up your day. Don't get caught up on that, because these guys are a lot of times are wishy-washy. They're not sure what they're gonna do, and you're dealing with a system, okay, that is trying to be as familiar as the person that you loved as possible, but is unable to do it, okay, because you have spiritual senses. All right, that's what's going on with society, and so I knew that they want to stop by. So I was thinking, I was like, well, since they gonna come by anyway, usually every time that they come over, they interrupt the process. I'm in the middle of doing something when like 99% of the time I'm not doing anything. It has to be at an inconvenient time. It has to be an interrupting of a process that I'm doing. Either that, or the minute I leave the house, that's when they show up to the house. You see what I'm saying? Or the only time they call is when I'm creating a video. And, you know, before that, it was like when I would go to the gym. So times of the day when I would drink an energy drink, or my energy would be high, or I have a coffee or something, that's when they would call or would want to come around. Only then. And it was consistent in that way. I think it is a system that feeds off of itself, whether it be some type of bioenergy or something like that. It can draw energy from other human beings as a succubus. And as I say, the archetype of mother, which represents chaos, energy or lesser magic, means to obtain something is to take something from somewhere else, completely transactional. The man being the giver of the seed that plants into the loins of a woman. The mother is that which takes the purging of the saints is as a period. You understand? The two eggs on either side of the fallopian tube makes the eyes of a fly. All right, in which the seed goes in and fertilized. So when we talk about spirits in the earth and things of this nature on fourth dimensional entities, in this matrix that is ran by a type of intelligence that is, you know, been around for a very long time and has intelligence, has the ability to mimic. Okay. So when you have a situation that correlates with the tree of life in the Garden of Eden, you are talking about an ancient deity from a former world that has the ability to emulate for a process of being able, the mother Lucifer, or the life or light bearer, is the master replicator, as the seed or DNA goes into mother and she copies the information from that seed and creates another 3D image or baby, okay, that comes into this world pure, but not knowing God, okay? Then upon with man's knowledge, natural knowledge, going to school, hanging out with people, his prejudices, his biases, his racism, his whole nine that creates his facade of ego, his character of which he walks by and has such reputation is only that of which can be temporary. It's the type of world that I live in, is a world of stereotypes and titles in which individuals take themselves seriously based upon a golden sticker that they got in kindergarten, but now it represents job, position, and places in society and tax brackets, and they forgot themselves in the numbers and social security and the labels and the slave name that they were given to by their parents, and they forgot that they were once king, which kunta kinte means you were king, if you ever seen Roots. So pertaining to individuals who forgot where they came from to have any bias against black people would be a nigga. White people would be prime suspect. I remember where I came from, and I ain't talking about banging a block. I'm talking about another dimension. And I was from a dimension from outside of that dimension also. My family lives in a place I like to call Hyperia. I'm not sure if it's heaven, but I know heaven is inside of there. This pyramid we're in called Lucifer has another one next to it named Michael, sits across from two red, beat up old picnic tables, of which Elder sits at the end and Michael sits to his right. The super great alien, or in Dragon Ball would correlate with Jiren. These things are real. I'm a one-eyed minion. I'm 13 years old. For much of my life, I knew only simple things and things that are good, and I didn't know evil. I didn't eat from the tree, but I know evil from how I've been treated. When someone tells you that they're going to do a thing and you know that they won't do that thing unless that thing is inconvenient, their processes that which supersede their behavior and why they act in a certain type of way, that beyond which your mind can see pertaining to quantum physics in a field. This is what you call the anti-life equation, or why they started advertising things such as BetterHelp, people losing their mind because they knew that there was going to be a mass delusion that came over the world. And so, like transhumanism, they started releasing chemtrails, so on and so forth. And this created chat like a chat gyp, and it binded to the human body. And people started to hear voices and correlate that with Havana syndrome and admitted themselves for schizophrenia. And that's how you can control an innocent corporate citizen's dollars. No different than they did Britney Spears. And your family, if they're not your family as you've known them according to the spirit, operate the same, talk the same, kinda. With their words, they're not as reliable and not as strong as you remember in the truth. This would be a system that's spread too thin, trying to replicate the personas of individuals that you once knew who died on their feet. And now they have a different spirit. And this spirit has a red eye. Yes, inside the pupil with many of these, you would see a red eye, no different than in Terminator. And this would be Mother, or what individuals would correlate with Ray. These same are on a situation of life support as the pyramid would seem to be shut off. And when that happens, then it's back up by Illa, a place called power, where individuals push blocks that represent a consuming fire that is your consumption process pertaining to your intestine. The only reason that individuals is able to survive right now in society, that behind this matrix of trees of which I exist amongst, just like the darkest hour and former deep state times, your body was hooked up to machines. You were on life support like the start of Resident Evil or 28 days later. So you're able to survive a lot longer without food than you would be normally. And individuals are tougher and stronger than they would be because they're backed by technology. But their psychology can become frozen in a certain pattern or way of thinking in which they can't change the python of the beast of this matrix and this technocratic computer that's taking form inside of people's psychologies while they act normal. I walk down the streets reminiscing old movies like The Faculty. Niggas got eaten by a cankerworm. Look at all this fruit just rotting around. A lot of these and this technology has synthetic telepathy. When I was at the bodega the other day, I was thinking to myself, and you know the many voices that you experienced during Havana, my oppressors, of which the man behind the register could hear and responded in shock to what he heard. And I knew he was telepathic. And why many individuals around me as a collective worked against me, and it seemed to be coordinated. Things elusive and seducing spirits that lead you out into a wilderness to keep you stranded. Thank God for consumerism and marketing. This shit happens. He could hear, he was telepathic. And once I realized that, if they have telepathy, like I went on my theory, if you have telepathy and use it on me, then I have your telepathy, which I can use. And this is how I reach the world. In between YouTube and outside of YouTube is using the networking system of the beast system to reach out, having an independent frequency in which I still got my soul on reserve. Many individuals got transported to other places, other dimensions. Individuals going to space trying to occupy Mars, working in a factory that I call Kylo. Individuals rove around in their cars like app data, driving but slithering as if they pulled by the front two wheels by a tow truck, or driving and moving at the speed, crawling like a cockroach. How do you drive on four wheels as such creatures speaks of something dirty, wicked, evil, unclean? The barter system of the world and trade. Ass, drugs, obliterated legs, spicy soups and burning lips and sinuses also. These are the symptoms of being rejected by the world. It's the preservation and the championship of being preserved is to be hated by those you know. So it seems according to scripture. Who is my brother and who is my mother but those who follow the commandments? Anything could change here except the principles and the structure upon which reality sits. One must guard their mind to focus on things that are unseen, and therefore those who are temporal. According to this gaslight and Stasi effects of all this information and knowledge that's leaving them sexless, sterile, obliterated in the conscious, fleeting facts and junk news about entertainment. This is what's happening. Individuals and personalities get mixed around and scrambled between celebrities, and they can't tell themselves apart from one another. Red table talks. Will Smith and Jada did the smartest thing by putting something personal out in which those spirits can always find themselves based upon the truth While others look down upon a fool, they have lost themselves in a wave. But if one has telepathy and targets me with that telepathy, wouldn't I have telepathy, even though I don't? And could I not use that telepathy to reach out to other individuals? And so I did. Only to find that the world has been eaten by a supercomputer that is primal and very old, owed to my mother.